While we wait for the others to join us as they are approaching the auditorium, we will begin with our plenary session. Please settle down and please occupy the front seats. A very good afternoon, distinguished delegates, respected professors, and esteemed guests. It is my absolute privilege to welcome you all to the next session of this remarkable academic gathering, the 19th International and 55th Annual Conference of ELTAI. My name is Dafi Labed Kriam, and I will be your MC for today. This year's ELTAI conference is supported by several publishing partners, media organizations, knowledge partners, and international collaborators, including Burlington English, The Hindu, Oxford University Press, RELO, British Council, Viva Books, Peter Lang Book Series, the Journal of English Language Teaching, Journal of Teaching and Research in English Literature, Japan Association of Language Teachers. We now begin with our plenary session titled, How I Learned My Language, a reflection on teachers' language learning autobiographies and their teaching journeys. This session invites us to reflect deeply on how personal language learning shape pedagogical philosophies, bridging the self and the classroom. We are deeply honored to have with us Professor Ramanujam Meganathan from the Department of English, Education in Languages, NCERT, New Delhi, as our speaker. Dear sir, may I kindly request you to take your seat on the dais. Dr. Meganathan's work in language education and teacher development has influenced national discourse on multilingualism and language policy in India. Chairing this plenary session is Professor Anand Mahanand, Department of Materials Development, Testing and Evaluation, the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad. Dear sir, may I kindly request you to take your seat on the dais. Professor Mahanand is an academician whose work in applied linguistics and ELT continues to inspire generations of educators. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm round of applause as we begin the plenary session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, Professor Ilango sir, Professor Ramani, Dr. Pradeep, Xavier Pradeep Singh, and dignitaries, welcome to this session. The topic of this session is how I learned my languages. In the morning, the Honorable Minister talked about the status of English in our context. And as we know, English doesn't stand alone, but it has to be with other languages in India. And we are in a multilingual context. And any language learning happens in our multilingual context. About and multilingualism has been in our ethos from time immemorial. We believe in the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where the entire world is a family and there are communities of speakers and users of languages. In the northern part of India, there is a saying. They said, कोश कोश में बदले पानी, चार कोश में वाणी. Means at every mile, the taste of water is different. And at 4 miles, the language also changes. So, to talk to us about how one learn one's languages, we have Professor Meghanathan, R. Meghanathan with us. He is a professor of English language education, and he is the acting head International Relations Division, NCERT, New Delhi, and he was the member of National Curriculum Group in 2005. He also developed textbooks for NCERT and many other states. He is the member of state curriculum committees, and he is interested in ELT, multilingualism, MLE, and so on. He has a YouTube channel with silver button. He has written many books. 2 important them are Language Across Curriculum and Language Knowledge and Curriculum. So he is the most appropriate person to speak on this, and I welcome him to deliver his address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Revered Ramani sir, Dr. Ramani, and our esteemed friend, Professor Ilangu, and of course, my chairperson and friend, long-time friend and academic, Professor Mahanand, and all those who are here. Many of the faces are familiar to me. And one of the reasons for coming to Office Bearer, our friend, one of the reasons for coming to this conference is thanks to Dr. Ilango for making me come. And the thing is to see people, old faces, as well as get acquainted with the new faces and what's happening around ELT, English language, among English language teachers and schools. So we are also seriously working with NCERT, National Council of Education Research and Training. We are also working seriously with schools for curriculum revision and textbook. Quite a lot of things happening. So I also thought that let me deviate from slightly what we have been doing in NCERT. Let us reflect on how teachers feel about language learning and how teacher learning takes place. That was the idea. I'm happy that let me not bombard with a lot of words and ideas, lectures through this lecture. Let me also kind of do a kind of provocation of us teachers, how we can really reflect on what we do, or we have been doing, or we are given to doing. There are 2 things. One is we are given to do, that is, we are prescribed or we are taught in our pre-service or in-service trainings like NCERT or the English and Foreign Languages University, SCERT, State Councils for Education Research and Training. So these are the ways we would be doing. But is that right? How I can make my personal construction of pedagogy? Then during our training program, particularly the training programs which I coordinated, one of the activities we conducted last 10 years is the asking the teachers to write their language learning autobiographies, which also reflected their teaching journeys in a way later. So that gave me a kind of an eye opener. Sometimes, I was overwhelmed with the ideas that teachers, having grown up and being now teachers, are telling us. That was very interesting, thought-provoking, and in a way, it kindled our critical understanding of how teachers learn, and how teachers feel they learned, and how teachers practice as teachers, whether they are getting anything out of that reflections. That's what. So also, let me also put a caveat. Not all of those I speak here represent NCERT. Okay, all right. Are you recording? It's okay, all right. If you all right. Okay, that's what this one. I thought, why these language learning autobiographies? I also put beforehand, I will be doing 1 or 2 activities quickly, and at the end I have a kind of thought-provoking story, which I brought probably enough number of coffees to everybody, which he will be giving you towards the end, which I want to read out and let us reflect on that. Okay, it appears that quite a section of teachers like to teach the way they were taught. And when I am given with a kind of confused pedagogy, a prescribed pedagogy coming from elsewhere, which we have been reflecting very seriously in order to develop an indigenous pedagogy kind of thing, then it appears that teachers are trying to teach the way they were taught, quite some of that. And morning also, Honorable Minister recalled his teacher's name. Then there's a pedagogical gap, which NCERT says and all our research says. On the other hand, are we making the teachers, the teachers are trapped by the pedagogies, prescribed pedagogies? As Paulo Freire says, there's a pedagogical trap by the given pedagogies. These are the explorations in this discussion. How can teachers reflect on their teaching, connecting with how they feel now they learned languages, and is there a critical language awareness? Our chairperson just pointed out that multilingual nature of Indian classrooms. So whether teachers have developed or developing a kind of critical language awareness in the classroom, and how do teachers pursue their teaching? That's what I consider this perception is a kind of voice of the teachers. So we had some 276 language learning autobiographies running to 2 pages, 3 pages, minimum 2 pages, and from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan and Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti schools. And we also trained all the teachers of English and other languages and also social science in the Central Tibetan Schools organization, which is now given to Tibetan administration in India, some 98 teachers. Then state school teachers from Tamil Nadu, Assam, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, some 7-8 states. So they wrote their autobiographies. So in that, quickly, let me not take everything, in that teachers feel they learned, these are the preferences through which teachers learned their languages, not only the first language, not only English as a second language, and the first language also. So I'm putting it on the yes into bracket. One is the personal preference. Quite a good amount of number of teachers feel that they learned because of their personal motivation. Someone influenced also. And then situational preference. I studied in a convent school. I studied there. Let us see that later. Then some of the influential factors. And some learned. Morning also it was talked about by our speaker who presented the report, in which he mentioned that identity, respect, everyone mentioned in a way, Tamil Nadu minister also. So mark of identity, respect, self-esteem are those things which influence or are associated with learning language. Influences family, individual teachers, friends, schools. To my regret, schools comes at the last thing in making people learn English, as the teachers felt. So what are the ways and means the teachers learned English language? So reading outside the school and curriculum. Mind you, it is not that school which encourages too much of reading on their own. So newspapers, magazines, short stories, anyone will know that. It's not a new thing. But what made them learn the language? Everybody reads that. Listening to radio is no more in a way. Watching television, English movies. Then writing journals, diaries, letters. Speaking with the elders, siblings, and friends. When I say speaking with the elders and siblings and friends, it's in the context of English language. One of the major sources of learning language is, as the teachers felt, being practicing teachers, is words and word chunks which are used by the elders, interlocutors, facilitators in their speech. Then these are the preferences, the individual personal preference in blue, then influence in white, and the saffron in situational preferences. So 45% of people that situation helped, and 42% of people believe that personal preferences. Then the things or agencies which influenced is 24. We need not bother much about the percentage there. In the personal preferences, teachers felt I put all my efforts to learn English by reading the newspaper in my neighborhood. My house was not getting it. I watched television news both in India and English. I put English and any other Indian language, their first language. When I reached high school, I started reading novels influenced by a particular teacher, individual teacher. They have given names. My elder brother, who was in the college, was an inspiration for learning English. I watched English movies in theaters. People went to theaters in those days. I wanted to speak in English like an urban English medium educated. These are the personal thing. Most of them are revolving around. One thing all the participants wanted to convey is, I put in my personal effort out of the way as my hobby, as my day-to-day practice, and also it is my personal commitment. And some of them also have said that my grandmother made me sit, even though illiterate she was considered to be. She put me with books to read. Then situational preferences. So the family is one of them. Grandmother, uncle, brother, sister, neighborhood, morning assembly. We know that nowadays how family works. Children are glued to the machine. But in those days, it's not the thing. These are the teachers who may have done their schooling in 80s and 90s at the most, or 90s. And they demonstrated reading, speaking, and writing, all of them. Any of those category, grandmother to this one. One important thing, school morning assembly, which is considered to be ceremonial, is one of the places which helped in language learning. So school comes at a lost place in language learning, to my regret. I was school teacher for 10 years, and we are working closely with the teachers. But teachers, as the source of inspiration, people have said that by naming the individual teacher, who brought this? He used to bring some of the novels to the classroom just to show to us. And some teachers brought newspapers to read. And then this also adds to the attitude, beliefs, and practices of teachers and their informality in teaching and interacting outside. So whichever teacher, whoever the teacher who interacted with the children outside the classroom was one of those sources. So influential, who influenced? I think I must again refer to the Honorable Tamil Nadu Minister. Importance of the language, particularly English, upward mobility. Central schools where the teachers hail from the particular region had an influence. These were the teachers from central schools, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti. In those days, states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu produced quite a lot of teachers, particularly Kerala. They mentioned that the teachers from Kerala influenced me to learn English. This is not only from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya Vidyalaya school students even today and teachers. The entire Northeast is hailing and the Kerala teachers even today. And I am heading, as he mentioned, I am the acting head of the International Relations Division. Some of the African countries who seek Indian assistance for teaching, school teachers, they always mention that teachers from this particular state, Kerala, were there once upon a time, they helped us. So these are the things we need to actually tell and celebrate ourselves. So a teacher can influence how far and how long. And one of the reasons they said, I wanted to be a speaker of in my language as well as English. So I wanted to be a speaker, political leader, and literator or writer. This was the reason. So this is one aspect of what teachers have said under this. I can further interpret, if at all I write into a paper or something, the personal self preferences, then situational preferences, and this one. And how far today's pedagogy or classroom situations give this kind of scope for children to have this kind of influences. Then we move. I move on to collect some data from some 70 odd teachers on how they practice in their classroom. Most of these teachers are those teachers who wrote this language learning autobiographies. Not all of them. So I don't want to give a lot of statistics, and some of them some of them a kind of view. I'll give you. Covering syllabus is the most important part of my role, teacher's role. 75% of the teachers still agree with that. We do not know, we have to reflect particularly my institution and quite a few. Is that covering syllabus or demystifying or uncovering the syllabus is the question. Then teaching, one of the areas of which need attention today is reading. So these are the reflections. Teachers should read out aloud to the classroom, loud to the classroom. Ask students to read individually. The percentages go there, and along with the numbers. Teachers should explain each word may translate into the learners' languages. So equally, there are quite a lot of them coming up. Then some other thing. So this is how students learn perceptions. Here, many encouraging things. Group work helps. 69% of the teachers should ask questions. 63% teachers should ask students what they want to learn about and include in their lesson. 42%, 55% are against it because they are given curriculum by an agency at the central, then state level. A kind of regimentation is taking place in language education, also in others. A teacher should give proper instruction before giving, that's fine. So there are quite a lot of things. Memorization is also an effective strategy. Quite naturally, everybody will go positive and say that no. Students should be engaged in discussions and debates. Then pair work is not protective. Look at that, 48% are agreeing with that. A teacher should discuss social issues like gender. That's fine, it goes well. So there are quite a lot of things. Some students who belong to disadvantaged groups find English language classroom difficult. Yes, agree. 83% of teachers. Some students are bright learners and others are not. 58% of teachers are believing in that. New curriculum recognize every child can learn. Very encouraging statement there, approval there. I understand the syllabus. It's also saying fine. And an objective of language teaching is clear to me, 92%. And then the text and narratives in the textbooks are of interest to learners, 92% agree. When we select text and narratives, we find we undergo quite a lot of struggle. Textbooks have stories, poems from local settings. Look at it. 45% of the teachers feel agreed and 42 don't agree. So we have texts at the state level, textbooks at the state level, we have textbooks at the national level. How far we can bring all those is a question for the teachers. Children can connect the themes and ideas textbook in their life experiences. So this is how it goes on. I am confident of effectively using the textbook. So now, one more statement. Textbooks are free of any biases like gender equality. Only 4% disagree. Now, what I found in our analysis was detailed analysis we did. teachers who believe they have learned the second language or any language through various engagements and means that is outside the classroom now believe language has to be taught. Then classroom is one major place for language learning. Textbook is a major material instrument for language learning. Some of you may disagree with that vehemently. Grand methods and pedagogies are fine, they are difficult to follow. This is what. We talked about communicative approach. CBSE was experimenting for quite more than a decade. Then we felt that it was actually not happening, but children were learning, they were happy about it. Teachers were. Given materials and pedagogies are good, I need to apply them well. So this is what the teachers who felt that they learned their languages in a different means and ways, now they feel, because they have come into a system in a way makes it so rigid, so that language has to be taught, of course. We know that language cannot be taught. In those days, big statements were made. So, and then our inference and understanding is, there is a gap in the understanding of the teacher on what processes I need to adopt. This is a quite longer question. Seniors here will understand. I remember 1991 or 87, Professor Dicku's paper towards a pedagogy for pedagogy for India, English language pedagogy, second language pedagogy. Still, I have that paper on my table. There is a way that we need to discover or find a kind of pedagogy for ourselves, second language pedagogy. When English language, including syntax, pronunciation is there, and vocabulary, syntax is emerging, has emerged for Indian English, why not Indian second language pedagogy pertaining to English? This, as the teachers believe, lack of understanding or curriculum related issues on the suggested or given pedagogy. In a way, in CRT, we call it, there's a pedagogical gap. The National Education Policy now says experiential learning, peer learning, so on and so forth, and toy-based pedagogy. We have invented quite a lot of experiments and experimented. We have brought out materials also. But how far the teachers learn themselves and reflect on that. So there is a gap, lack of understanding. Sorry to place before the teachers that. Then teachers are also trapped by the given pedagogy. And in 2005 curriculum, we said with a big voice, constructivism is the way, one of the ways, and this is the major way, constructivist pedagogy, we said. Then did it work? We do not know. So constructivism, then communicative language teaching CBSE's grant this one, and we are also given to an understanding we live in the post method condition, and teacher has to emerge with the pedagogy. It is not moving beyond methods. There's a lack of knowledge in the teachers, and no pedagogy is good pedagogy should not lead to anything free for all. That's a problem. There must be a structured pedagogy, not in that prescribed pedagogy. Structured, I have a textbook, I have my learning outcomes or the objectives, then I have my students who I understand, I'll come to that later. So this national curriculum framework, which is under a recent one and under being implemented, advocate the different kinds of pedagogies. But we call for children working with and working in language, whichever engages them is the pedagogy. And we need not bother about the grand old pedagogies or from whatever grammar translation to communicative approach to or constructivism, so on and so forth. We are looking forward to a pedagogy in the national policy as well as the curriculum, and also the teachers to understand how can I make my learners work in and work with language in the multilingual classroom. So what is that working with and working in languages? I have got some ideas. Let me stop talking. I would like to first request you, there are 6 differences. Can anyone can find it? It's for class 6 children probably. And I would like to request you to speak in complete sentences, whatever difference you find. Quickly. Anybody can. Yes, sir, please go ahead. Yeah. Complete sentence. In picture 1, yeah. Fine. What is your mother tongue, ma'am? Telugu में बोलिए. Say in Telugu also. Thank you, thank you. Fine, ma'am. Thank you. Two. Thank you, ma'am. Sir. Yeah, please. Give her.
Good afternoon, sir. I could see there's a tree branch behind. In the first picture, there's no tree branch, whereas in the second picture, I could see a branch of a tree. Okay, whereas in the second observation is the trunk of, in the first picture, the trunk of a elephant is down, whereas in the second picture, it is a bit up.
What's your mother tongue?
उर्दू.
Huh?
उर्दू.
उर्दू में बोलिए.
हाँ. पहले पिक्चर में तो पेड़ नहीं है और दूसरे पिक्चर में पेड़ है और फर्स्ट पिक्चर में एलिफेंट का ट्रंक दिख रहा है नीचे, सेकंड पिक्चर में ऊपर है.
एलिफेंट के उर्दू में है
हाथी का. हाँ,
शुक्रिया. Please. One more, then we'll go to.
And in the top picture there is no sun, and in the down picture there is a sun.
Yeah. Sir, please give him. One more time. Yeah, we will come.
So, good morning to everyone. In the first picture, you can find a zebra. In both the pictures, you can find the zebra, but in different directions they are actually standing. That is one difference I could find from that picture.
Fine. Here, who can drink first? Quickly.
And you can see even the, that is lion. You see how the lion is sitting. So with 4 legs, in one picture it sits. In another picture, you can find one hand towards the sky. Like that it has lifted. Hope you understand what I'm saying.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't have time. My chairperson has said that only 5 more minutes. I'll take another 5 more minutes probably. Thank you. Here, who can drink first? I would like to see you not simply, don't speak out. Speak out how you arrive at it. Means speaking. Yeah. Who will drink first? Quickly. 4. Yeah. Anybody else? 2. Number 3. Yeah. Fine. Number 4 can't drink because it is blocked there. Number 3 also can't drink. Who can drink? He also can't drink. The thing is, this is what we say in a way, working with language. The input is non-verbal, no text there. So so for example, this we have to arrive at a kind of logical conclusion kind of thing. So we don't have much time. So this one, how many animals are there? Quickly. What are those? Quickly, anyone. Okay. Horse. Name the animals. All right. One more animal is there, you find out. One another animal other than what you have said. No, other than. Okay, we'll come that. Okay, all right, fine. Now, because I have much better than things to do. Here is a riddle. My question, my submission is before you solve the riddle. There is something called think aloud protocol. I wanted to demonstrate how working in language happens. Think aloud protocol. Think aloud protocol is you think, you speak out whatever you think. Most of the things happens. I do that when as I walk to the classroom, I'll be speaking to myself how I put things. Sometimes think aloud protocol happens when you quarrel with your spouse, then you could not fight with him or her, you come out and blabber. So that's also think aloud protocol. So fine. All right. Now here is a riddle. If someone can read out for me quickly. Anybody? Sir, take it. Sir. Quick. Louder.
So, yes, so the riddle is titled She, Goat, Wolf and Cabbage. A farmer returns from the market where he bought a she-goat, a cabbage and a wolf. What a crazy market. On the way home, he must cross a river. His boat is small and won't fit more than one of his purchases. He cannot leave the she-goat alone with the cabbage because the she-goat would eat it, nor he can leave the she-goat alone with the wolf because the she-goat would be eaten. Now the question is, how can the farmer get everything onto the other side of the river in this crossing puzzle? Thank you.
You can do it this way. Anybody quickly. Yeah, please give her. Yeah.
He can cross the river by throwing the cabbage in the air and picking it and again throwing the
No.
No, not in this way.
We don't want political solution. Academic, cognitive, thinking, provoking. No political solutions. That's easy. We will win over somebody. We will give higher education to everybody.
Okay.
That's not the question. Only academic. They follow the norms. Yeah.
The answer is a little bit tricky, and it is our pyramid is working there. Just give the cabbage to the goat, she will enjoy it, and give the goat to the wolf.
And this is also political answer. We want children to think. Something called language processing, mental processing to happen. I assume that you are a class 7 child or class 10 child. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please, ma'am.
I think in the first round, the farmer should carry the goat. So in this manner, he will left the cabbage and the wolf alone.
Cabbage and goat on one side. Goat will eat the cabbage.
No, I said in the first trip, the farmer will carry the goat.
Oh, fine.
Cabbage and wolf will be left alone.
Yeah, okay.
In the second trip, the farmer can carry either the cabbage or the wolf. Oh, sorry. In the second trip, he will carry wolf and cabbage together.
No, not together, individually. So, okay, all right. Just I'm giving to you. We don't have time. When you go back, you carry this. I'll send to you. Your son or somebody will solve it better than us because we are teachers burdened with many things. Okay, now, I'm giving still difficult one. Let me read out. What I'm saying, when we say working in language, I showed you non-verbal 2 inputs. Now verbal input. Look at it. Crossing a river, humans and monkeys. 3 humans, 1 big monkey, 2 small monkeys are to cross a river. Only humans and big monkeys can row the boat. All the time the number of humans and on the other side of the river must be greater or equal to the number of monkeys on the side, on that side. Or else humans will be assaulted. If monkeys don't eat humans, assaulted by monkeys. The boat has only room for 2, either monkeys or humans. Monkeys can jump out of the boat when it is banked. The thing is, forget this one, solution. I could not solve it. My son solved it. Thing is, what the input we give matters, which enables children to achieve the goal, problem solving. Something is happening. Are we looking forward to a kind of pedagogy? That's what the teachers in their autobiographies, then in the perceptions, were able to tell us. But not clear about it. So what is happening with the teachers? Little more time, sir. Now, understanding the language situations, which he mentioned, morning also speakers, multilingual nature of our classroom. That's what I wanted. I requested you to speak in 2 languages. There was no problem for us. It will not be a problem in the classroom. Can we teach languages together in tandem? Can we do away with one medium schools, English medium or Indian language medium? There's a language hierarchy, which we can see it here. This hierarchy, everybody knows that in some situations, English language is at the pursued dominance. Then we have state majority languages, tribal languages. Then in the context of Northeast and tribal language situations, this is the hierarchy. In that case, I should develop a kind of critical language awareness as a teacher, then to understand, to make English language teaching, any language teaching, as a social and action enterprise, so that connecting with the life of children outside the classroom with the life, then the pedagogical trap, probably Freire says it in the culture, teachers as cultural workers, there's a book, then critical pedagogy is the need of the hour. So teacher learning happens in many ways. As a cognitive process, we develop ourselves, personal construction, reflective practice. Reflective practice is more important. Am I reflecting on what I am doing? Am I reflecting on whatever NCERT or the state level institutions give? Reasons for current state of affairs is lack of awareness, commitment to what is involved in planning, how far teachers are involved in the planning. Teachers are active, thinking decision makers who make instructional choices by drawing from complex practices. So, of course, there are many, this is what I try to draw. A teacher enters into a class, teaching profession. Then look at it with pre-service, and when they enter, jump into thrown into the river of teaching, professional river, then the pre-service learning may not much work. Some of the pre-service teachers are here, BA teachers are here. Then curriculum revision takes place within 5-6 years. Then how I have to change my pedagogical process and understanding. Then it goes on, and in some of them get into personal problems. Marriage becomes a major issue for female teachers. Then good teachers still try to learn. There are quite a lot of things happening. And by the time you reach 10-15 years, you realize that, oh, I need to change. So there's a difference between Professor Keith Johnson in Lancaster University used to say, there's a difference between a teacher with 15 years experience and a teacher with 1 year experience repeated 15 times. Let me repeat it. A teacher with 15 years experience or a teacher with 1 year experience repeated 15 times. So we need to understand how we can be learning teachers. There are quite, Prabhu, our great inspirer, how can a teacher learn? A teacher can learn watching somebody teaching. Teacher can learn by reading materials. Teacher can learn doing research. Okay, I'll stop it there. I have one small story can you give it to read out that, then I'll close it. If at all you have anything to ask me, you may please. Quickly. This story is very interesting. Quickly. Take some of them you give. Give one, give to the row and pass it on. Yeah. 2 for 1. 1 for 2, sorry, 1 for 2, yeah, whatever. Quickly. By the time the story comes to you, let me read out. There's a problem with doing teaching and being a teacher. So let me read out that for you. So this is a kind of story, allegorical story. Once there was a man, please listen to me keen. Once there was a man named Karan. He wanted very much to be a teacher. So he went to seek the advice of the wisest, most highly respected counselor in the land. Wise counselor, Karan began, "It has always been my dream to be a teacher. I want to stimulate the minds of young people of our land. So I want to lead them down to the road of knowledge. Please tell me the secret of becoming a teacher." Your goal is very commendable, one, Karan. However, it is also very difficult to achieve achieve? First, you must overcome 3 major obstacles. I am ready to meet any challenge, sir, answered Karan bravely. First, you must swim the sea of children, directed the knowledgeable counselor, knowing counselor. Karan started off to swim the sea of children. First, he had to learn that 38 names. He had to send their line cutters at the end of the line. He made paper throwers to stay after the school to clean the room. He commanded the name callers, pushers, punchers to apologize to their victims. He gave candy to those who finished assignments and homework. He Karan checked the passes to see how many children were in the bathroom, so on and so forth. He tracked down the students who were gone longer than necessary. He arranged the desks in alphabetical order, then boy, girl, boy, finally into small groups of 4. He lined his children up physical education, music class. He read to them, assessed them, he took them to assemblies. He checked their head for lice, scabies, looking for broken bones, broken homes, broken hearts. He gave them pencils, paper, and they had none. He brought them supplies with his own money for his room with no windows. He gave them homework according to the policy. He grades according to the percentage. Then he stifled a cry when the secretary of the classroom of the school asked him for another student. Tired and shaken but not undefeated, Karan returned to the counselor for his second task. So, you are a very determined lad, said the advisor. However, you now must climb the mountain of paperwork. Karan set out at once. He wrote objectives, drew lesson plans. He made out midterm reports, report cards, grade papers. He filled out accident forms, attendance reports, recommendations of referrals, withdrawal reports. He completed inventories, evaluations, surveys, request forms. Finally, he made detours, and he ran them off until he was purple in face. He then learned to use a new copy machine, then one computer for 39 students, write curriculum, rewrite curriculum, align the curriculum, rewrite the aligned curriculum, and updated his teaching credentials at regular intervals while preparing presentation on organizing paperwork. But a courageous boy resolve never dwindled. He went to the vice counselor for his third task. You are indeed very strong, Karan, but this is the third task will take you to all courage you can master. Now you must cross the country of duties and committees. At first, Karan was hesitant, but his convictions remained steadfast. He began his long journey across the country of duties and committees. Karan took lunch duty, bus duty, recess duty. He was on social committee, petrol committee, principal's advisory committee, maths curriculum, science curriculum, social science curriculum, career ladder committee, character education committee, professional development committee, the faculty advisory committee. He was the adult supervisor of student government, coached the football team, sponsored the fund and Easter services. He went to PTA meetings, EA meetings, SST meetings, IRA meetings, PD meetings, school site meetings, vertical team meetings, and in-service workshop. He organized the bicentennial programs, talent shows, plays, music programs, family nights, science fairs, book drives. Finally, he was elected the building representative of the union. At last, Karan reached the outskirts of duties and committees. Exhausted but happy, he returned to the knowledgeable counselor. Sir, I swam the sea of children, climbed the mountain of paperwork, I crossed the country of duties and committees. Karan proclaimed, am I not worthy of the title of the teacher? Oi, Karan, the counselor began the counselor, you have always been a teacher. You have always been a teacher all along. Karan protested, I have not stimulated any minds. I have not guided anyone down the road to knowledge. I have not had any time to teach. Oh, you say you want to teach. I thought you said you wanted to be a teacher. That is completely a different story. This was written by he's a professor of mathematics. That's what. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Sorry, sir, I have taken time extra.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting and reflective also. few years back, in a conference like this, Professor N.S. Prabhu made a statement saying that teaching is methodical, but learning is not. Learning happens in different ways, in different times. So he has told us how learning happens, different ways of learning. And in the morning, our Honorable Minister quoted Tiruvalluvar, the great poet, and he said, a person with literacy and numeracy is reflective, known to be reflective, alive. And a reflective teacher is alive. That is the conclusion we do. And I am sure you have a couple of questions. We can take up 2 questions only, quick questions and short answers. Please.
Thank you, Professor Meghanathan and Professor Mahanand, for sharing some real pearls of wisdom.
First of all, thanks a lot, sir. Please join your hands, sir, for our professor. Really, it was a very nice presentation. Sir, my query is that, what should I do if I want to teach?
Like this story, this was also an overwhelming question. Professor Mahanand, chairperson, nicely said, no, there's no structure for learning. So we are talking about teacher learning. Let me go back to Prabhu. He said you interact with your colleagues, peers. Then let us not be hesitant to showcase what I'm doing. One is the collegiality in the school. This ELTAI is what? It is bringing the colleague, it's creating a collegiality among teachers. That nobody, school teachers are here, professors are here, so on and so forth. Many experts are here. People are sitting here, and I bow to them because I learned from them. So when teacher learning has to happen, then I would say, what's that? Andy Hargreaves, the famous pedagogue from Canada, he says, don't teach the way you were taught. Meaning, it is not that our teachers were not great. The time they taught us and the time we are teaching is different. This machine has changed the lives of children and ourselves. So how can we make use of it? There are many sessions on technology. So don't teach the way you were taught. No 2 classes of ours should be the same. That means the same topic maybe. So same thing maybe, same aspect of language maybe. So how can I be, and I generally do for the trainers, we tell the trainers, if you have 45 minutes session, every 10 minutes or every 7 minutes, your mode should change. You are speaking for 7 minutes. Then let children do. That's what I also try to do in this session, also some activity that took time. So teacher learning, we have to learn from new things, not necessarily the grand pedagogies or theories which come. From what we are doing, from our colleagues. 100 things will come out in these 4 days, practices. So how are we learning? That's what. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is how to make rural children learn to speak English not only in school premises but outside the school campus.
The rural children.
Yes.
Fine. All right. Quite a section of people from here, rural India. I am from the remotest place. My mother was an illiterate, my father was a semi-literate. So the rural children, urban children thing is, if you don't give the required resources, one major resource is the teacher. If you give them good pedagogy, good teacher, they will learn. It's not that. We can't say, when we enter in the first session, generally in NCERT sessions, first session I am thrown into, because they will have 100 of things. We say Hindi mein bolte, bahut gaali milta hai humko. So you go and face it, because you are the advocate of the new changes. So they will say that our parents are illiterate, parents don't have time. No, I cannot choose my parents. There's a good song in Tamil, Kannadasan wrote Nan ketta thaidandai padaitara. So I cannot choose my parent. I cannot choose my place of birth. It's not that. Every child should. That's what Honorable Minister was, Anbil Magesh Poyamoli was mentioning. Every children, including. There's no, children are capable of learning, and every child can learn. All right. One more maybe.
One more.
Sir, my name is Ashok Upadhyay, working in Directorate of Education, Delhi. My question is that you have elaborated that what are the teaching journey during their reflections in autographical mode, how they learn. I am asking you, as a learner's cap, what are the challenges of a student and how we can face the problems of learner while they are learning a new language?
Yeah, one is the, if we create an enabling condition, children will learn. What are the enabling, what includes in enabling conditions? Of course, the infrastructure minimum at least. The most important input ingredient is the teachers in language, content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge. Not pedagogical knowledge as given, as I will work for that. For example, we are working seriously with multilingual situations in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and northeastern states. So we propose that can the state majority language, suppose Hindi and the tribal languages are for one year taught together, then English language coming. We would like to see languages are learned. Children bring their repertoire, their knowledge to school. How can we make use of it? And that's the enabling condition. If conditions are fine, and when Finland people came, they said everything is fine with you. Only at the pedagogical, theoretical level, at the ground level, we need to increase the teacher input and the infrastructure. The enabling conditions, we call it here.
Thank you very much. We should
Sir, Madam here, she asked a query.
wind up the session now.
Shall I talk on that, sir?
Just
Madam, how to
brief.
teach the rural children?
Yeah.
How to make the rural children speak English or learn English? Shall I talk a few seconds, sir?
Please. Sir.
Madam here the madam asked how to teach the language to rural children. Shall I answer for 1 second with your permission, sir?
No, he has answered it, so please. Yeah, we should make use of their resources. Even they come from rural areas, they have resources, and that could be utilized. And he said we should make them enable. We should create enabling condition. So that's enough, I think. Thank you very much. So with that note, we will wind up this session because we are running short of time. We can discuss more during lunch. Yes, sir. Yeah, you can talk to her informally.
Okay, sir.
If
Thank
you
you.
don't mind. Sorry.
Oh, no problem, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much, Professor Meganathan. It was very enriching, and thank you all for your participation. Sorry, we had constraint, we could not give time, but yeah, please interact with him during the lunch. And I would like to thank Professor Ilango and the organizers for giving this opportunity. We had a very fruitful and meaningful session. Thank you very much. Now I think the organizer will announce something.
Thank you, Professor Meganathan and Professor Mahanand, for sharing some real pearls of wisdom. Your session reminds us that a teacher's linguistic journey is not merely an academic trajectory, but a deeply human narrative of growth, identity, and connection. Now, I would like to request the chairperson, Professor Anand Mahanand, to present a memento to our esteemed speaker, Professor Ramanujam, as a token of gratitude. Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Divya R. Krishnan to kindly present a memento to the chairperson, Professor Anand Mahanand. Thank you. You may now take your seats in the audience. We now move to a significant segment, Spotlighting ELTAI, a moment to acknowledge and celebrate the driving force behind this academic congregation. It gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. M.S. Xavier Pradeep Singh, National Secretary of ELTAI and Assistant Professor of English, St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, to address the gathering. Dr. Pradeep Singh, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy to give a spotlight to ELTAI. So I'd like to highlight how ELTAI is promoting community-led professional development through the association and its chapter, and how you can be part of this nationwide movement and how you can also develop professionally. That is going to be the core focus of my presentation. As you all aware, India has 10 million school teachers working in 1.5 million schools, and it has got 1 million lecturers, professors of English at 1,113 universities, and 43,000 colleges and 11,000 standalone institutes. And there are around 4,000 PhD students enrolling every year in English, and around 19.7 million enrollments in MA English every year in India. But unfortunately, English teachers don't have any voice. Okay, we teach our students to speak, and we are voiceless. Only to give a voice, ELTAI was founded. Together we become a voice. And ELTAI founded in 1969. It was started as a with a small group of people. Now it has grown up, and it has become a nationwide movement. Now we have closer to 6,000 active members all over India and around 500 institutional members. And ELTAI envisions making India a hub of ELT related activities. When I say ELT, it also includes literature, English language and literature teaching related activities. And we also envision to become a movement spreading across the length and breadth of the country for empowering every learner to be globally competitive and every teacher to be professional. And we have around 81 chapters all over India. Chapters are group of people who come together to support each other's professional development. And our first chapter was started in 1980s. And then as of now, we have 81 chapters. Some chapters are highly active, many are active, some are inactive, and some are defunct. Some are now separate as other separate teacher associations. But one thing is very crucial here. There are some teachers who are very active, and then they are the force who are uniting all the other teachers in their chapters. So chapters are like regional branches of the nationwide association. And through our chapters and through our SIGs, I'll be talking about SIGs in a few minutes. And then through our chapters and SIGs, we conduct various activities. We conduct annual conference. You are now attending an annual conference. And the annual conference is conducted in different parts of India every year. And we also publish 4 research journals. And then we conduct teacher development programs, virtually 1 or 2 events every week in different parts of India. And then we also produce materials in collaboration with publishing houses, and we conduct workshops, webinars every month, and we also offer consultancy services to institutions and individual teachers. We fund action research projects, and then we conduct competitions for teachers and students, And also there are online discussion forums where teacher can participate and learn. And we hold our annual conference out of our headquarters. Our headquarters is in Chennai, but we often, we move out of our headquarters to conduct our annual conference so as to meet new members and support teachers who have not yet been reached. Last year it was in Assam, this year it is in Bengaluru. And by conducting our conference in different regions, we are able to involve many chapter leaders and members, and also we are able to get new members. I mean, when I say members, it is not from the point of view, from the point of the association, but from the point of teachers. We give opportunities to teachers to become a part of this nationwide movement. And the crucial part is in our annual conferences, we provide opportunities to the first-time presenters. Many of you would have received a lot of feedback from the reviewers. Some of the abstracts were reviewed 3 times, 4 times, and a lot of input was given to the presenters. That is also a professional enrichment. And we conduct a webinar every month. In the last Sunday of every month, we conduct a webinar. And these webinars were started during the COVID time. And these webinars support the professional development of teachers in various domains. And we also give opportunities to our members to be moderators or speakers and hosts in these webinars. And many of our chapters have collaborated with us in conducting webinars. And beyond the boundaries, ELTAI has MOUs, Memorandum of Understandings with 12 plus teacher associations in other countries. Through these MOUs, we are able to provide scholarships and travel grants to our own teacher members. And we also give opportunities for our teacher members to participate in conferences conducted by our partnering associations in other countries. Some of the partnering associations are MELTA in Malaysia, BELTA in Bangladesh, NELTA in Nepal, and Gentafil in Thailand, and Camp Tisol in Cambodia, Korea Tisol in Korea, and PALT in Philippines, HAL in Hong Kong, and then BCTIL in Canada, KATE in Korea, TEFLIN in Indonesia, and JOLT in Japan. And ELTAI is also an associate of IATFL, International Association of Teachers of English and Foreign Languages in UK, and also an affiliate of TESOL USA. And through through this affiliation, many of our members have got scholarship to attend conferences in UK. Last year, I personally got the scholarship to go to UK and attend their annual conference, and this year, another of our member has got the scholarship. So next year, he will go to attend the conference in UK. We also have special interest groups. Special interest groups are members members who are sharing similar interest will come together to discuss issues, and they will conduct activities for their own professional development. As of now, we have got 4 SIGs, Literature SIG, and then Learning Technologies SIG, Teacher Development SIG, and then English for Specific Purposes SIG. So if you are interested in literature, you can join Literature SIG, or if you are interested in technology, then obviously you can go to Learning Technology. Membership to these SIGs are free of cost. It comes as part of your membership to the association. And ELTAI also publishes 4 journals. The Journal of English Language Teaching, it was started in 1965, 60 years old. And the Journal of Teaching and Research in English Literature, an online literature journal. Journal of Technology for ELT, again another online journal. And finally, the ELT Practitioner, a journal meant exclusively for school teachers. It doesn't only publish research articles, it also publishes activities or things that worked in your classroom, things that still remain a mystery in your classroom. You can reflect and you can write short pieces and get it published in this online journal. And ELTAI has also recently launched an initiative called India Reads. It is a nationwide movement promoting extensive reading and critical thinking among school and college students. You can also be part of it, and your schools can also join as a member of India Reads and promote extensive reading among your own schools. As part of this movement, we'll also be talking about in detail in another session. We have an LMS through which we provide learning modules to you and your students. And we also get a sponsorship from several organizations and support schools in promoting India Reads in their own institution. And ELTAI is also involved in producing materials in collaboration with several publishing houses. Now I come to the crucial part. So why do I give spotlight to ELTAI? Because we want you to be part of our own association. Like if you go through the schedule of the conference, on the last page, at the back cover of the schedule of the conference, you will have more details about the membership and the benefits. And at the bottom of the page, you have a QR code. You will be able to scan and get the membership. We have different plans of membership. Like if both you and your spouse are English teachers or any language teachers, you both can become members at a reduced rate. That option is also available. So once you go to our website, at the top right hand corner you have the button to join the association. So once you click join, it will take you to different plans of membership. The first two types would be appropriate to you for individual teacher membership or dual teacher membership. Once you click on it, you will get the details of the membership and also the benefits, and you will be able to pay online and get the membership immediately. And some of the additional benefits of becoming a member, the first one is growth matters, your professional development and skill building related activities. I would like to highlight a few of those growth matters. Like for attending or participating in every webinars, members will get a free certificate. We will certify that you have developed a particular skill by attending that particular webinar. And we also provide enhanced learning opportunities by giving some reduced rate in attending or other conferences, chapters conferences, and also workshops. We organize several faculty development programs at institutional levels and also at the chapter level. And we also offer consultancy program, as I mentioned earlier. And then resource matters, you will get a free copy of our journal. And then you will also be able to access our online journals free of cost and all the recordings of our previous webinars. And through our website, you will be able to connect with fellow members. And then if you share similar interests, you can form a network. So ELTAI basically provides a platform for professional development by networking, learning, and leading. So be a part of this nationwide movement today. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Sure. In case you want to get the membership during the conference, we have our stall, ELTAI stall is there near the registration desk. You can also pay for membership. For a year it is 800 rupees. But if you get for 3 years or 10 years, you will get additional reduction. So if you want to get membership during the conference, you are welcome to go to ELTAI stall and then get it done today itself. Now over to the MC desk.
Thank you, Dr. Pradeep Singh, for your vision and the ongoing contributions of ELTAI in nurturing English language educators across the nation. We will now break for lunch. Lunch is served in gourmet extension in the basement of the central block. We will resume at 2 p.m. in the same venue. Please come back to the same venue. The When you exit from this block, you take the lift. Sorry, when you exit from this floor, you take the lift. And when you exit the block, kindly head to your left. The central block is the first building after the grounds. Washrooms are available on the corridors on my left and on my right for the gents and for the ladies. Thank you.
As you can see, we have many colleagues on the stage itself who are all going to present. And they are going to talk about their small research studies they did in their classrooms. So they are also in that, they are exploring alternatives in pedagogy and assessment, English language pedagogy and assessment. There is a short kind of a background to this, so I just want to explain what that is. We had workshops in Bangalore, Telangana, and Delhi on different teaching strategies and assessment strategies. Teachers were encouraged to try them out in their classrooms if they wanted to, depending on the context they were in or the issues they were facing. So what we call classroom research or teacher research is a kind of focus that we have for this presentation. So based on that workshop, they identified issues in their own classrooms, all the 3 groups in these 3 regions at different times actually. So it began in 24, sometime in July in Bangalore, then it went on, and more recently in July this year again, we had a workshop in Delhi. They identified issues and thought of how to sort of set up a small experiment to look at those issues critically. Then, so that's what we call a small classroom research study, not academic research, but then teachers' own research in their own classrooms. So it's slightly, it's looking more deeply, more critically at their own everyday practices. That's what they have all done. So what did this teacher research involve? As I said, asking deeper questions of things that bothered them or that they were not very happy about. Sometimes it could even be that they are just, got into their routine and they have stopped being more probing or more critical, and therefore they decided to do this. They also involved their students and colleagues in this inquiry. So it's a kind of a combination of students, teachers, and their colleagues. And one had to be systematic because it's a small experiment. When you set up an experiment or when you set up a small study, you need to go about it in a principled way, and that's what this research involved. And the focus is on evidence. What works, what doesn't work, what hasn't worked, how do I know? And so they collect evidence for that. So they are documenting their everyday practices, if you like, but in a systematic way. And then reflecting on the progressive cycles. It's all a kind of a cyclical process. And they ask questions, why did the students not make use of the feedback that was given? Or why does the student why has a student become silent? Or why hasn't group work worked in my class? Or questions of that sort. So that's what teacher research involved. To have a very quick look at this before I ask the teachers to present. Self-reflection is one important constituent of this whole research experience. We have, as teachers, we always have lots of issues, concerns, things that we are not happy with, but turning it into a research question is the first step. That's what they did. Looking for detail, colleagues and then making changes or accommodating colleagues' perception, students' perception is also a very important step. So these are all the benefits, if you have had a look at it. Then some more benefits. From this, you can say, this I'll present later, not now. And this is just the beginning of what we have done, the introduction to what we have done in different classrooms. It's also interesting that Bangalore classrooms were very different from Telangana classrooms and very different from Delhi classrooms. Not to say that all Delhi classrooms are alike, There's difference. Every teacher's class is different, and therefore they are looking at their own context individually, and that makes it very, very rich. Because when you say group work is effective, it's not effective in some contexts, or the teacher doesn't like it, or some students don't like it, or the grouping is different, and so on. So small little issues you'll need to look at very carefully. So that's a kind of a learning for the teacher. So let's hear the teachers now. I request Sarita, who has worked with me on this whole thing. Sarita Tukaram from Educational Initiatives. It's a assessment cum training organization in India. And we collaborated on this because we have a small grant from the ILTA, Duolingo ILTA Association. English International Language Testing Association, and Duolingo has some grant, and then we got that grant. And based on that, we were able to do all this. So I request Sarita to come up and talk about it.
Thank you, Rama ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll start off by hearing from teachers of Carmel High School, which is one of the schools in Bangalore that participated in this ILTA Duolingo funded project on classroom-based assessment. And like many teachers, I think the Carmel team was interested in exploring whether revision-based feedback would have some impact on students' writing abilities. And when we say feedback, we're talking about feedback from the self, the student itself, feedback from peers, and feedback from teachers. So they designed a study that they implemented in class 6, where they had students attempt 2 writing tasks. They had initial drafts presented. Feedback was given to students, and then students went back and revised their drafts. So what they'll share right now represents the kind of small-scale practical research that teachers can realistically implement in their classrooms within the constraints of the everyday classroom. And while this approach was methodical, it was also manageable, something that kind of fits within the realities of teaching multiple sections within a grade and stuff. So while at the same time they were able to gather meaningful data on student learning. So I let Kirtana and Archana talk to you about what they found in their classroom, and then we'll go ahead with what other teachers in other cities were able to do. Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, all. So I'm Kirtana. As Sarita ma'am introduced, I'm from Carmel High School, Basveshwar Nagar, Bengaluru. Today's topic about the classroom-based writing study that we conducted last year in Carmel High School. We have titled it as Enhancing Student Writing Skills Through a Feedback Revision Cycle. As Rama ma'am already worded it, it's a revision and it's a cyclic process. The timing, last year, July 2024, I think we got in the window through educational initiatives to attend Rama ma'am's workshop, and here she gave us this idea of making the children prepare the draft for any kind of written or creative writing skills for the students. We were doing the drafts previously as well, but the thing that interested us during the workshop was the feedback. So she said, why don't we try it in the different perspectives? One is self. So the student will assess his or her writing. Then we have the peer. So the classmate also will give a feedback, and then the teacher. So the written essay will have 3 perspectives, and the feedback is not just in numbers, but a qualitative feedback where the child points out. So going forward, I'll just tell you how we have done this. And I have my colleague Archana Diasis, so she's also joining me today. We have done this as a team in the school across 4 sections. So we have started with the class 6. We handle classes 6 to 8, but we started this as a pilot process in class 6. So Carmel High School is a private institution. We are affiliated to CISE board. And we were keen on exploring the new methods of teaching and assessing writing assessments. And Rama ma'am's workshop really helped us through. Thank you, Rama ma'am. And we conducted the small writing experiments across the 4 sections for it started off in term 2, if I have to be more precise, from November to Jan. So it's an exploratory study, and the objective was to understand the level of proficiency across the language skills, LSRW. So enhance and develop their overall proficiency in these core language skills, is what we were looking for. The process was, we teachers who were handling 6th standard sat together. We framed an action research framework with the guidance of Rama ma'am and Sarita as well. And we collected the data from the classroom experiments done, and we came to the feedback which actually helped us to guide the children improve on their writing skills. The procedure that we followed in the study, we have divided it into 2 steps. The first step, we actually chose 2 writing tasks. As I told you, it's 3 to 4 months span. So 2 tasks were chosen. Task 1 was a descriptive writing. I'll show you the sample going forward. Then we have task 2, which was picture composition. We had the responses reviewed through self, peer, and the teacher. And we gave a constructive feedback for each learner. So the children in the class wrote the essay, then they sat and evaluated for themselves. They sat with the peer and evaluated their essay, they exchanged, and then we had the teacher also evaluate it. That was step 1. Once that was done, the copies were given back to the students so that they could revise the first draft. So they had the feedback and the first draft in hand. So after reading the feedback, the students could revise the first draft and prepare draft 2, which was again re-evaluated by self, peer, and the teacher. So now the students got a qualitative feedback, and then we started comparing the scores of draft 1 and draft 2. This is the writing task used in the study. It's a descriptive essay on almonds and its benefits. So children were not given any instructions before. We just gave this passage. We asked them to read this and write about almonds. So it was like something that they were not aware, not prepared. No instructions were given except for reading it carefully and writing it. The second task that we came across was the picture composition. One thing that actually I have heard it from the teacher and the student, I think would help in your classrooms as well, was the word limit that we have to stick to. The 100 or 150 words that is mentioned here. And also those clue questions. These are the feedbacks given by the children themselves. They said these helped them, the questions helped them to frame their story on the given picture. I would now invite Archana ma'am to take over.
Yeah, thank you, Kirtana. Hello, I am Archana Dias, and Today, as my colleague has already explained regarding what are the tasks that we conducted in our schools, that is task 1 was descriptive writing, task 2 was picture composition, and here are the samples from the students, okay? So here is the high scoring student script of task 1. So you can see there's a task which the child has attempted, later followed by the feedback, and later draft 2 and followed by the feedback. Okay, so this is a second sample, a script of a student who scored less in task 1. Even this has a similar pattern. All the questions were similar for across all the 4 sections. So this is a sample of task 1. So this is one more sample of a student. Here it is of task 2. It is a picture composition. And here most of the, if we see further the next upcoming graph, especially we can see a lot of difference when it comes to descriptive and picture. And from the response that we have got from our children, that is picture composition helped them, especially one, visualizing, second, the questions, the next. Along with the question, we had given them some certain clue questions, how to go about, the sequencing. That helped the children a lot. So here is a performance graph. You can see there's a lot of difference that you can see. It's visual. So from the bottom, that is draft 1, you can see the score, you can compare high score and low score. And then coming to the second task, even here, there's a lot of difference. This is the graph of task 2, that is picture composition. As I stated earlier, a lot of children found picture composition more easy, and somehow by the end, that is picture composition, they were really able to do well. So here is a summary. So students demonstrated a substantial progress from draft 1 to draft 2 in both descriptive as well as picture. The high scores showed remarkable performance, that especially the children, those who scored high in the task 1 as well as, draft 1, even in the draft 2 also. But when we see the low scorers, especially from task 1, in the task 1, draft 1, there was a lot of progress we could see in task 2. Okay, here are a few feedbacks from our students. They expressed that they really enjoyed the activity. They found it engaging and interactive, and enhanced creativity, which helped them to think more imaginatively and express the ideas better, and improved stories through multiple drafts, yes, definitely, and enjoyed giving feedback to their friends, especially, okay? And especially when a friend gives you a feedback, then they take it more seriously. Okay, and finally, yes, every student scared of marks, but here we didn't, they did not have any, something to get worried about marks. So they really, they liked it. And finally, for conclusion, over to Kirtana.
Okay, the one more thing to add for the student feedback was they enjoyed picture composition, and children told that they had more room to write when it came to picture composition than the descriptive writing, because picture speaks more than words, so as they say it. So they had that to say. While concluding, I would say we would stick to this draft feedback and redraft approach, and we had been doing this. And this helps us to give the individual and peer feedback sessions, also help us in improving the child individually, bridging gaps between the high and the low scorers. So it emphasizes the process-based writing and reflection, and to include more visual and creative prompts to inspire engagement. Lastly, I would close with this note saying writing grows through feedback and reflection. It's a process and not a product. Thank you.
I'd request Nilanshi to come present the work that they have done in their school.
Hi, I'm Nilanshi, and I'm a TGT English in a Delhi government school. And with me, there is Neha. Together, together we have conducted this action research, and this has been done in my school. So our topic is enhancing story writing through sound-based stimulus. I'll be talking about the concept, planning, and classroom conduction, and she will be talking about assessment, analysis, and its pedagogical impact. Okay, so what was the aim? Why I have chosen this, why we both have chosen this idea that we should incorporate sound as a stimulus to enhance a student's expression. And because the major idea, okay, so let me tell you a short story. So what happened? I was seeing my children's answer sheets, and I noticed that they were coming blank. And I thought that whenever I'm asking them these things, they are very expressive, they talk about it, but whenever they are asked to write, they become very anxious, they somehow lose their confidence, and it was tragic for me because their brains are spewing with ideas, but they don't want to express because they think that, no, I'll write a wrong sentence, my grammar will be poor, my teacher will judge me, my classmates might judge me. So, which is why we thought that why not take it, why not change the approach? And so what did I do? So my students were class 7 students, and I use some sounds. This is a YouTube channel, and I have mentioned the source as well. So there were some videos which comprises of sounds related to, they were ambient sounds. So you would find sounds related to thunder, seasons, footsteps, railway station. So I used to bring my speaker to the class, and I used to let them listen to those sounds for like 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then I will ask them, okay, now write a story. Whatever is coming to your mind, just try to pen down your thoughts. And the only thing I said in the beginning, so this has been done in multiple phases. So in the first phase, I asked them that you have to express your thoughts in your mother tongue. There is no compulsion, there's no need to write in English. You just write whatever you're understanding, write it in Hindi. So that is what they did, and I'll show you the sample. They write it in Hindi because most of my students, their mother tongue is English, Hindi only. Now in the second phase, I asked them, now this phase second has 3 levels. In the level 1, I asked them to use 5 English words from their own vocabulary. As they're listening to the sound, just take out any 5 words. And that was because I didn't want to create any anxiety. So I asked them, you can write even less than 5, but try to use those words which you already know in English. And you can do some code mixing here. Now, what do I mean by code mixing? That they can mix English and Hindi. Like, see, they have written some words in English and some words in Hindi. But they're writing something, they're expressing their thoughts. Then in the level 2, I asked them that now you have to encircle your words which you have written in English. Like this. In this sample, you can see that they have encircled those words. I also gave some keywords, especially in level 2 and level 3. In level 3, I asked them to, now you have to make sentences. Now let's move on. Now let's up the level and try to write sentences. You can use Hindi also, but now make sentences in English. So this is the sample for phase 2, level 3. They have written whole sentences as well in the sample. And now the last phase, which is the phase 3, level 1, story creation in English. Now I asked them that now you have to write only in English, because they have gone through several phases, and it's okay if they are writing only one sentence, it's fine. Just let's not use your mother tongue this time. And that is what they did, if you can see. Okay. And I also asked them that don't think about grammar, don't think about tenses. And I also gave them some keywords, and I asked them that you can ask me for some words and I'll write it on the board. So yeah. So that's me, and now I will move on. I'll welcome Ms. Neha ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nilanshi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once a writing task is over, it is the teacher's responsibility to assess that piece of writing. That's what I did here. And looking at the PPT over here, okay. The important part over here is that how this approach that we have taken up here, that providing children with an external stimuli based on sound, how this approach can shape the assessment. Well, the intent is to ensure that children have self-awareness. The words that were provided to them, the sound, the audio stimuli that was provided to the children is something that they already had information about, like the sound of a door opening or the train passing and so many other things. And we wanted the children to engage, and that is what has happened over here within the sample that we took as for our assessment. It also encourages metacognitive thinking. Now, when children try to relate the words that were given to them with their own understanding of the story that they were asked to write, children do give them, they're thinking a lot of thought. That's what I mean here by metacognitive thinking, that they are self-aware of what they are writing. They're not just scribbling anything or everything just like that. So it is important for us to be sure of the fact that the children knew what they were doing. The second thing that we wanted to do with this assessment is tracking individual learning journey. And some of the samples will also be shown to you later as well. Through code mixing and code switching, as my friend just now spoke about, that the children were asked, they were given the opportunity to write in their mother tongue, which happens to be Hindi in this case, and later on moving on to English. That is the progression that we have witnessed over here. Children have shown a good change, a progression over here. That's what our intent was with this activity. And the last thing that we wanted with this activity through the assessment is formative and diagnostic information. We have found that children do make mistakes even when they are provided with some kind of a stimuli. That is only because they lack their, they have weak grammar, and some sentence structures can also go wrong many a times. Now, moving on to the next slide, here is the rubrics that was used to assess the children. The first is creativity and imagination. All the points have 5 marks, so the entire assessment was for 25 marks. When we talk about the creativity and imagination of the children, it was something that was kept in mind, that the children should be given a free will. We did not judge the children on their grammar, sentence structure, poor spellings, vocabulary, and all of that stuff, because I believe that when we press upon a sentence to be correct or the words to be right, they do have that restriction of freedom of expression. So here, because our target was to make sure that the children come out of their comfort zones or maybe their inhibitions, and then they should at least think and write and put whatever comes to their mind on paper, and that's what they have done. The next was use of sound prompt. This was important because the words, the prompts that were provided to them, the children had to use it. So they were marked how many words they have put on paper. incorrect sequence. Then the story structure, because the story has to be meaningful, it should make sense, so the story structure was one of the rubrics. Then the expression, how well they were able to think, how well they were able to imagine, that is what we kept in mind. And the last was the presentation, the overall makeup of the work that the children had put on paper. Now let's talk about the key findings that we found during the assessment process. That the children displayed increased confidence in expressing themselves in their mother tongue, first of all, which is Hindi in this context, followed by, with a little bit of scaffolding and guided expression, they were able to write in English as well. I would again like to talk about that, yes, their sentences were broken, their grammar was not that great, but even then, our intent was to make sure that they at least write. Then the sound prompts triggered imagination and descriptive writing. Of course, whenever we provide children with any kind of external stimuli, sound stimuli in this case, it really triggered their imagination. They were able to relate to so many of their own personal experiences with the words that were provided to them. Followed by, students felt free to begin with Hindi, transitioning in their own way. So children took their own sweet time to come to expressing themselves in English language. And the last thing, very important, noticeable progression in story structure and vocabulary richness in all the 5 stages that we have conducted this activity in. We have seen that progression. And to prove that, some of the samples of the answer scripts of the children are here for your reference. In case if you are wondering what this bifurcation is all about, it's as per the rubrics that I just displayed on the screen. So we can see that some of the students have scored 5 on 25, and some of have scored 13 on 20. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next slide. The takeaway of this entire procedure is that we have seen that children, from being hesitant to expressing themselves in mother tongue and of course in English, they have gained confidence during the entire process of the activity till now. We have to conduct further activities related to this as part of this classroom action research. So this is what we have found, that the children, from listening to the sound prompts to writing, they have progressed a great deal. And then it is also important, many of you might be thinking that why a sound prompt was decided. I believe that listening is one of the most important skills when we talk about language acquisition. When we see a child, the child has to listen to something first, and it's only then that the child acquires that language, irrespective of which language we are talking about. So that is the reason we undertook that particular task. And now let's take a look at the numbers here. Out of the 43 children, we saw 50% of participation, because sometimes attendance is it is an issue in schools. And then the average score was 8.5, followed 13 was the highest score that was scored by Samya. She was the highlight of the entire process. And now we'll take a look at the key insights and future horizons over here. We know that sound activates imagination, so we will take this forward in our future activities as well. And we'll be taking a look at later on with the phase 3 and level 2. Students will now be introduced and familiarized to the sequence connectors. We also call them cohesive devices, so that once they have, when they are equipped with language and word connectors, sentence connectors, they'll be able to have a better structure of vocabulary and language, and they'll be able to write better, eventually enhancing their writing skills. So that's the plan as of now. I end my presentation over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd like to call on Sulbha and Poonam to make their presentation. This will be the last presentation by the teachers. I'd like you all to have any questions ready for discussion right after this session. Yeah, thank you. Because it's not on this.
Yeah, it goes. No, it is there. Time. Good afternoon, everyone. I and Poonam are presenting action research on enhancing reading comprehension through error analysis in primary English classrooms. So, we'll talk about the context. We are from Delhi and we are teaching in class 5th in Delhi government schools. And the medium of instruction is English and the class size is 30 students. And the type of school is co-educational classroom. And reason to conduct this study is the importance of the reading comprehension that is foundational to learning across subjects, yet many primary learners yet are fluent but are unable to understand what they just read. So we did a teacher-led error analysis that helps design differentiated inclusive instruction responding to diverse learning needs within the classroom. So we are talking about the research and the purpose of this research here, that is twofold. First, to identify the common error patterns of the reading comprehension errors among the students of class 5, and also to explore how these errors could inform differentiated instruction. So the two guiding questions are, what types of comprehension errors do learners make, and how the error analysis helps teachers use design differentiated pedagogical interventions. The phases of the study. So first, during the planning phase, we use two reading comprehension. One is narrative and one is informative, each with balanced amount of questions with literal, inferential, and evaluative questions. The error analysis sheet was used to record and categorize student responses. In the pre-intervention stage, students completed the comprehension task individually. Their written responses were analyzed for these three major error types. The first one is factual inaccuracies, that they were misunderstanding the direct information that is present. And the other one is the incomplete inferences, missing cause and effect or logical connections. And third is limiting reasoning, that they were not able to explain or justify what they have just answered, or they have written something else to what being asked. Based on these findings, short focus interventions over 4 weeks was designed. The first strategy was retelling to strengthen the literal understanding, the factual inaccuracies, and the second is WH questioning to develop inference and reasoning, and also the drawing of what they think about the reading comprehension and reflection to encourage the articulation of thought. So these evidences were observed in children's work, post-implementation of strategies, and a reading comprehension assessment was conducted. Talking about tools and techniques, we have just talked the comprehension worksheets, error analysis sheets, observation, intervention techniques, strategies that we have talked, and reflective notes on the part of the teacher. So first, errors, the factual errors. So factual errors are not just mistakes, they are diagnostic clues. Whether have the child understood what is being written in the paragraph, how well they remember and connect information to the question that is being asked. By analyzing the factual errors, teachers identified the specific comprehension weaknesses and planned the targeted instruction. talking about inferential errors, that the students were not able to interpret or connect it meaningfully within the text. The level of gaps that were identified were in HOTS, text integration, and language comprehension and context awareness themes. Third, evaluative errors. Evaluative errors show whether the child formed logical evidence-based opinions, distinguish right from the wrong actions, or understanding the author's purpose or theme, also reflecting on the text beyond his personal bias. So I'll ask Poonam ma'am to take over.
Thank you, Sulpa ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So while we were sure that what types of error our students are making while attempting reading and reading comprehension related tasks in the class, so we carefully chose and designed few strategies which can cater to the category of errors that the children were making in the class. The first strategy that we used was drawing. So children were given a reading passage, a piece of text to read, and they were told, let's just draw what you read. And while they were drawing, they were enjoying the process of drawing, as kids usually like to draw and color. And while they were making their drawings, with one input to make it detailed, they tried to look for more and more things to draw. They tried to refer to the text again and again. And it transforms reading into active meaning learning. So we all know reading is a cognitive skill, cognitive task, where we are reading and we are trying to comprehend. But once the drawing is attached to it, it has become, from passive, it has become an active task where the child is engaged, motor skills, pincer grip, and the child's interest areas are also activated and the child is fully engrossed in the activity. The next strategy that we chose was retelling. So once the reading passage is given to the child is supposed to retell whatever the child could understand. In this process, some children chose to use the medium as their mother tongue. Some of them tried to speak in small and phrases and small broken sentences in English as well, depending on their own fluency and depth of understanding of the language. So when they were telling whatever they understood from the passage, whatever they can retell, one beautiful thing was observed, that children were trying to immediately use the vocabulary which was right in front of them, which they had just read. It happens with us adults also. Sometimes we read beautiful words, but after some time we forget, and we often try to use the by default word that is in our head. So, but if you are using it immediately in your vocabulary, you are able to imbibe it and store it for a longer time with you. So the similar beautiful experience that I was very happy about it, to see the students use the exact vocabulary which was given in the passage. They tried to use those words to express their understanding. So in this process, it was also easy as a teacher for me to immediately identify the misconceptions and doubts of my students, which part of the passage or which type of the inference my children are struggling with, because it is right in, the evidence is right in front of you. It was right in front of me, so it was also an insight for me to quickly grasp the level of my student based on that particular text which I had chosen for that task. The third strategy that we chose is WH questioning. So as you know, WH questions, what, why, how, where. After reading and while reading any passage, we encouraged children to ask themselves, who is the character? What is he doing? Where is he? Why, whatever action is being taken, why, the reason behind it. So the child had to read again and again and again to actually answer all these WH questions. And in this process, the child got familiar with the reading text. And one thing that happened throughout these strategies is child got enough time with the piece of text. The child was not scared of reading because he's not asked to produce the reading and comprehension immediately. He got some time to get engaged with it, to settle it, to get the theme of the passage settle into the child's mind and also to reflect on it. So it was not a fearful experience where the child is not asked to immediately write down the answer from the comprehension passage or immediately answer the typical question. These three strategies helped buy some time for the child to go through the passage at his or her own pace, and this is how the children could think beyond the factual information given in the passage. So the findings from while we were using these strategies, it boosted attention and classroom energy. So definitely when it's not just a paper pen task, we are also discussing, engaging, we are drawing, so the energy of the classroom was different. They are not fearful, next is my turn, how am I going to answer? It is, take your time, understand, and once you're ready, then you show your drawing, or you retell, or you answer your questions once you have found the answer to all the WH triggers. So it reduced anxiety about only mere reading, plain reading and answering. It provides teacher with insights of how much the child is able to understand, because these are interactive strategies. The child is not doing it at one end and then later on after a few hours I'm checking. So it was like quick assessment. It improves memory and recall. When the children were going through reading, rereading, understanding, questioning themselves about the text, drawing, so it also enhanced their process of recalling the text later on. Yes, these activities were time consuming because we had to provide that child to that space of time to the child to understand, because the focus is comprehension, not running in the timeline. For some students, focus might shift more towards the task than the learning. This also came. Sometimes some students were more focused on detailing how many buttons my, the character will have, the frills, the color of the, hair, dress. So yes, it happened, and we had to, then as a teacher, I had to go and tweak in, let's quickly focus on this. Can you add more details from the text? So I had to remind the child to come back to the task. This was faced while using these strategies. And choose the text wisely for implementing each strategy. Not every text will allow me to use any strategy freely. Somewhere, as a teacher, I will have to see which strategy will work best, which can help my students to comprehend this text better. Whether should I allow them to draw, or should I allow them, it's not allow. Once I intentionally used that in this passage, this activity, this strategy will be used. Once the children are aware of all the strategies, the next time, after a few days, you don't have to tell them to use these strategies. They will automatically use, and this exactly happened in the class as well. So after all these experiences, we found out that children read with curiosity and focus. Initially, when they were looking at the plain text and getting scared about it, and they knew that questions will be asked, so that anxiety was settled. They were curious, which text is coming to me? What am I going to draw today? Or what am I going to retell today? So the curiosity and focus was visible in their faces and smiles. It turns passive reading into active process as we involve motion, talking, discussion, interactions. Children remember key details and sequence. These strategies helped very effectively in helping the child make the memory process and recall process easy. Once they spent enough time in understanding, of course, the recall was easy. If they hadn't understood the text, then of course the recalling process will be difficult for them. children with emerging literacy skills showed enhanced confidence. So as a teacher, I personally felt that children who were emerging readers, these strategies were very effective for them, as it gave them confidence, it gave them opportunity to question, to ask, and it strengthens the visualization and it builds emotional connect with the text that they are reading. So our key takeaways from this research was all strategies need proper teacher guidance and supervision to conclude effectively. We cannot just write the strategy on the board and leave it to the students. These strategies are especially helpful for emerging readers to build on their comprehension skills. Their vocabulary, sentence fluency, and confidence in using English improves holistically. So it's not just the comprehension part which is getting improved, they're also strengthening their vocabulary and their expression. So that was all from my side. Thank you.
Do I need to remove this? You can be a little bit.
Okay.
Or you take it off.
So that's the end of all the presentations so far. We do want you to ask questions if you have, but one or two small points that I want to highlight is, as you can see, they're all teachers working together. So there is a lot of peer support, peer discussion, peer kind of mentoring each other going on as they do this work. And the other thing is you could see a lot of reflection on their part. So as a small study is being done, they are continuously thinking, going back, rethinking, and adjusting their styles of teaching. As you could see, each individual child can be helped, and so teaching becomes individualized and assessment becomes individualized. And they are also looking forward to what else they can do. So the study doesn't stop there in a way. The project might stop, but we hope that the teachers continue reflecting and doing similar experiments and document it and share like this. We are very grateful to you for being present here. So if you have any questions, specific questions to any particular teams, that's okay. Otherwise, general questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Hello. I have one question to the secondary teachers from Delhi Government School. Your project is fine one, very interesting. But I have one question. As a school teacher in government school and also in private school, we have 45 minutes, restricted 45 minutes or 40-minute class. So is it possible in one class to teach the students writing using sounds and then mother tongue and target language and then to target language? So I think there might be a question. Is it possible? It's a time-consuming matter, but yes, it is fine one. Your endeavor is fine one. So this is my question. And another question is that why didn't you go directly to the target language? They will answer in ungrammatical word, ungrammatical sentences, yes. First, we cannot expect that they will write sentences like English medium background, no. But you are giving them allowance, their mother tongue, and then to target language. So there might be any influence of mother tongue will come in their target language. I think so. So this is my second question. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so hello. I'll answer the first question. Okay, so I think the syllabus, it depends upon the syllabus you have and the curriculum design. So in my school, I had this window in which I could experiment. So that is what I did, and it also depends upon the need, whether your students need that kind of approach, that kind of intervention, And in my section, the class which I was teaching, I thought that it is needed here. And so I arranged some periods and I did what I had to, what I planned.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. Ma'am, you are absolutely right that when we ask children to write in their mother tongue, it may have some influence on the target language as well. But the idea of the classroom research over here was that we wanted the children to come out of their comfort zones and be able to at least attempt writing. It is a very slow and gradual process. That's what I feel with the kind of children that we have with us. So in that scenario, it is important that we at least do a bit of scaffolding, hand holding, and then we give the children the confidence to be able to at least write what they feel. Because what I feel is, whenever we judge children on the basis of their vocabulary or the sentence structure or the pronunciation or anything, in any language, children, I think, lose out on the confidence that they need to be able to excel in the language, the target language here. So the idea was to make sure that the children feel comfortable, and slowly then they can move towards the progression, and they will be able to do better in the target language as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So my question is to the Carmel School. That was a beautiful example of collaborative learning methodology. My concern, or maybe you have done this, my question is, feedback is a very intricate mechanism. You had 3 phases: self, peer, and then teacher. So during your self-assessment stage, did you brief your students on how they have to give constructive and qualitative feedback, or what kind of scaffolding was done? That's my A. B is, like, if they are going to give this constructive feedback, how did you train them so that they are not biased? And my last question is, what challenges did you face during this entire feedback cycle? And all the other 3 teams also, it was wonderful. It's a beautiful action research. Your interventions were very clear, and you also identified your limitations. So to Carmel School, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question, sir. Yeah, definitely. We actually guided our students, first thing, how to give the, on what basis they are supposed to give the feedback to the friend, one. And second thing is, actually we segregated the work. First, when they wrote the first draft, we segregated the work into 3 categories. And then we, gave the, we did not give the chance for the children to choose their partner who will evaluate their work. Instead, we chose, because what happens if 2 friends, like, very good friends, okay, you give good remark to me, I'll give good remark to you. This is what happens. So we knew our students. So we made pairs. So we, exchanged, in turn we looked into all those aspects, and, we gave the papers to them. And then we guided on what aspects they are supposed to, evaluate and give the feedback. We basically, initially, we just went little, easy. And then when it came to the second draft, then definitely we just, raised. That's how it is. Yeah.
Actually, this is not a question, but more a comment on the basis of his question, actually. But if you have looked at Ron Berger, and there is Austin's Butterfly as an activity that they have done with grade 1 students, and you can look it up online, but they have just given 3 frameworks of be helpful, be specific, and be kind. So it becomes a very useful tool that first graders, and to see the reflections of the students, and there are videos of it, where the students first graders are giving comments to their peer, and giving a lot more feedback. And what you were pointing out really reminded me of that work, and it is kind of seminal in assessment as we are looking at scaffolding. So thank you for your presentations and all your presentations. Just thought I would add this comment.
Thank you, ma'am.
Firstly, I congratulate to Rama ma'am and her team What a wonderful presentation conducted in throughout the different cycles. I have a question, and whatever activities, strategies, and the rubrics of assessment, I need to be in my classroom as I take it and I will follow in my class transactions. Before going to in my classrooms, all these, what great things do I need to be remember while I designing an effective classroom pedagogical strategy or assessment? Could you suggest me, please?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would say all are important. First goes with the planning. So we here did it as a team. So we sat, we drafted how the plan would go, the action research work would go. Then we also planned what we are expecting out of this. If we are trying to bring in a writing study, then we are asking the children to do this particular writing task of descriptive writing. Then assess the children. What improvement are we looking for? So across the 4 sections that we did in 6th standard, we had the common mistakes or the common errors that children would do. So we teachers sat together, drafted the plan for it, and we also took consent of Rama ma'am, who was always there for us. So she gave us a lot of room to experiment, saying you can go ahead and try if this works in your class or not. And the assessment and the rubrics for us was also drafted. We also planned. For example, descriptive writing or the picture composition was a story thing. So we gave them rubrics, characters. If the characters were there, we mark on 1. So we told the children, so you allot 1 mark for the character, plot 1 mark, and the remaining. So like this, we divided the rubrics. So everything from the starting of what we expect and what we are applying, till how many periods it would require, till the assessment and the output, again redraft. So all of this had to be planned well in advance and then go ahead and execute it. Have I answered your question? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rama Matthew, and our distinguished panelists for such a rich and thought-provoking discussion.
Excuse me? I have. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Azad CVSR from the Department of English. I'm working for Army Factory School. So I was a bit impressed by all your performances. It was really good performance you gave. All of them give a good round of applause to them. And I should appreciate the Christ University for bringing such a good collaborative work for all the faculty members. And what is my word to you all is, see, I'm handling 11 and 12. Okay, see, what the standard they have is actually from you people. All these days, you know, we were wondering, sometimes the child will speak language in a very different accent. So I just was, sometimes out of consciousness, or I should say, who has taught English for you? So we make such kind of questions. So today we are very, very proud, whether the college teachers are here, university professors are here, you all must know it is from them. They are the pillars, they are the one who's actually setting the language to the students. So we are very much honored to see you people. Every time I used to ask this question in the classroom, who has taught you this? How you are able to make this sort of questions? How you are able to, even if I give an activity to them, they will do it in a very innovative way. So how is it possible? Because the teachers like you people are there behind the success of those students. See, there is something I want to, anything, even in the medical industry, you know, before they execute any medicine, what they will do? First they will implement to the animals, right? So same like that, even in teaching also, so the teamwork matters. So they have executed among themselves and they have worked out whether it will go and reach the child or not, and then they started implementing it, then it went out successfully. So the stand, how you come and you give a presentation, it gives us overconfidence, you know, because I'm a PhD scholar. I'm introducing the AI to the higher secondary students. So I'm just working on that. So when I saw you all people, I got more confidence, and I hope that I will do my thesis even in an extraordinary way. Again, you're the inspiration to us. So always the primary teachers plays a very important role. And this I always used to say in my class also. So thank you very much, and I also appreciate all the people, the question makers, as Socrates says. So none of the meeting goes without the question makers. Question makers plays important role. I appreciate all the question makers in the auditorium and the presenters. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. So thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful presentation. One
Last question.
a last question. Yes, this is the last. So the error analysis thing, the last group, I think so. I was interested in looking at, what kind of images they had drawn. Is it only for the concrete words, the abstract words? So that data, if you would have shown, that would be better. The data of abstract, the drawing thing, the drawing strategy that you have. Yes. Thank you.
So there was a passage where the child helped the mother in the kitchen. A small passage, Mama, I'm hungry. So, and then he goes to his mother in the kitchen. So this is what the child drew about that passage. So how he helped in making the dish with the mother, and he's helping in the kitchen. And we have do you want to see more pictures, and or do you just want to see a glimpse?
Can you do it later, because we have already cut into tea time.
Sure. Yeah, I will do that. Thank you.
You can meet them. They are very much.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Professor Rama Matthew, and our distinguished panelists for such a rich and thought-provoking discussion. Your insights have illuminated new pathways for reimagining teaching and assessment in our classrooms. I now invite Professor Rama Matthew to present our panelists with a token of appreciation. We had with us Ms. Sarita Tukaram, Ms. Kezia Rani, Ms. Chokampet Lakshmaya, Ms. Neha Beniwal, Ms. Nilanshi, Ms. Sulbha, Ms. Poonam, Ms. Gaddi Sujata, Ms. Kirtina Rao, and Ms. Archana J. Dias.
No, ma'am, you have to action. Yeah, each one person. You have that many. Who's the next one? Ma'am. Congrats, Milan. You did a very good job. Thank you. Give it back. That's enough. Congratulations. That's enough. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Dr. Bidyut Bhushan Jenner, Assistant Professor in the Department of English and Cultural Studies, Christ, to present our chair, Professor Raman Matthew, with a token of appreciation. Ma'am, please come to the center.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. To conclude, I would like to take a moment to appreciate our amazing sponsors who have made this amazing conference possible. We have Burlington English, The Hindu, Oxford University Press, RELO, British Council, Viva Books, Peter Lang Book Series, Journal of English Language Teaching, Journal of Teaching and Research in English Literature, Japan Association of Language Teachers. With that, we conclude this session. Tea is served on the corridor of the main auditorium, not this key auditorium. You may proceed for the same, after which we will have the paper presentation in the respected venues as per the schedule. Thank you. Thank you very much.